Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Josh back here again with another video. Um, Back with another SummerSlam review. This is SummerSlam 1991. In my opinion, this was the best SummerSlam to date. We did 88, 89, and 90. Um, I do the matches on a 1 to 5 star category. That's how I do it. And I do the show from 1 to 10 stars. I go by, overall matches. A lot of times when I watch a match and I'm analyzing it or doing the rating on the match or however I'm going to do it. What I usually do. A lot of you guys might find it kind of odd, but what I do is I hit the mute button and just watch the guys work. And that's how I do it. But anyway, let's get into 1991. 91 was an awesome SummerSlam. It's from the legendary Madison Square Garden. Um, Gorilla Monsoon, Bobby Heenan, and Roddy Piper open up the show as commentators. This is the first time that the SummerSlam that they had the commentators ringside, and it was really cool. I thought. Um, the first match of the evening we open it up with is a 6-man tag match. We have Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, the Texas Tornado, Kerry Von Erich, and the British Bulldog versus the Warlord Hercules and Paul Roma of Power and Glory. Um, this match really surprised me. It was a really good match to open up the show with. It was way better than I thought it would be. If you remember the year before, they opened up with the Rockers and Power and Glory, and it wasn't that good. But this match went a little bit. Steamboat, Tornado, and Bulldog get the win over Warlord and Power and Glory, and I really liked the match. I thought there was a lot of good things in it, work wise, psychology wise, just a whole lot of good stuff in this match. And I gave it 3 stars to open up the show with. Um, then we go to a Bret Hart interview talking about how he's the excellence of execution and he can beat perfection. And then we go to Mr. Perfect doing an interview, and he's talking about how he's simply perfect, and he's with Coach. I don't know if any of y'all remember him. He was a old school wrestler at one time, and then he got a short stint with the WWE. His years went on, he passed away. But then we get into Bret Hart versus Mr. Perfect. Wow. Um, Anybody that watches my channel knows that is my favorite match of all time, anywhere, everywhere, any pay-per-view that you can think of. I love this match. It gets 5 stars all day long, anywhere, all day long. Mr. Perfect, Bret Hart gets 5 stars. Just a sensational match. Bret Hart picks up his first single title after he wins the Intercontinental Championship. I thought it was just excellent. Um, that match stole the show. Second match, for real, it really did, in my opinion. Then we go backstage. This is the time when Mean Gene did all the interviews, and we have Andre the Giant and the Bushwhackers interview. They're pretty much talking about the natural disasters, and they show a clip from what Earthquake did to Andre's leg prior to SummerSlam. You know what I'm saying? And then we go to the match. We have the natural disasters versus the Bushwhackers. This wasn't a very good match. This was, it wasn't really long, but it wasn't short enough to call it a squash match. But I pretty much call it a squash match as the natural disasters went over. Um, I gave it 2.5 stars. Um, After the match, the natural disasters tried to jump Andre, and then out of nowhere, here comes the Legion of Doom down to confront the natural disasters. They kind of back up, like, oh shit, I'm not fighting with them. And Andre smacks them with the cane, and they take off down the aisle. Um, then we go to Bobby the Brain Heenan. He says he's leaving the commentating booth to confront Hulk Hogan. To talk to Hulk Hogan about Ric Flair, the World's Champion. This was right before Ric Flair came to the WWF. He had already been signed, but I don't think he had debuted yet. And Bobby Heenan goes back there to interview Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan slams the door in his face. Um, then we go to another $1 million man. We go to the $1 million man. He does his interview, um, talking about Virgil and you know just how Virgil had a good job, and he don't have to worry about it anymore because he's been replaced by Scary Sherry. Uh, then we go down to the ring. We have the $1 million man versus Virgil for the $1 million championship. This is by far Virgil's shining moment in the wrestling business, in my opinion. He goes over on the $1 million man, wins the $1 million title. Let's get deeper into this match. Um, in the beginning of this match, a lot's going on. Sherry keeps trying to interfere in the match, and DiBiase hits him with something to get disqualified. And then Earl Hebner, the referee, changes it around. He's like, Sherry doesn't have no business being out here. She has to go to the back, and the match will continue. The match continues. Just a great match, man. Awesome match. It's Virgil's best match of all time, and one of DiBiase's best of all time. I gave it 4 stars. I thought it was a kick-ass match. Uh, the storyline on it was epic at that time. Virgil at this time, believe it or not, I don't care what anybody of y'all think now today, but if you were around when I was around, man, Virgil was over, dude. He got a loud pop at that SummerSlam and the SummerSlam '92 that we'll do next week. But 4 stars in this match, excellent match. Um, then we go to a Mountie interview. He's talking about how he's the only true law enforcement in the WWE. They go to the clips of the Boss Man and Mountie feud where the Mountie and the Nasty Boys and Jimmy Hart have Big Boss Man handcuffed to the ring, and they take the cattle prod and they keep shocking dude with it, uh, which set up for the jailhouse match. We have Boss Man versus Mountie. Um, this is a pretty good match. Also, I gave it 3 stars. They told a great story. The Mountie, Jacques Rougeau, whatever you know him as, I've always thought he was an underrated worker, and I always thought Boss Man was underrated for his size. Um, I thought it was a very good match. Of course, we all know Boss Man gets the win. Um, the police take Mountie out and put him in the police truck or whatever. They take off. Then we go to interview time. We have $1 Million Man. He does his interview. He's basically talking about how he was robbed. And Bobby Heenan's like, the next time we see the $1 Million belt, it will be hanging from Virgil's mirror. This goofy, silly stuff that I really enjoyed. We have a Bret Hart interview where he talks about becoming the new Intercontinental Champion, and he told you so. And he was so proud because his parents were present to see him become Intercontinental Champion. If you remember back then, during this time, the Intercontinental belt was bigger and more prestigious and meant more and had more talented wrestlers hold it than the WWF Championship, in my opinion. Um, we have a Natural Disasters interview where they talk about Legion of Doom needs to stay out of their business. We got a Boss Man interview and Macho Man interview. Macho Man is actually getting ready for his wedding or whatever. Then we go backstage. We have cameras downtown New York. Mountie arrives to jail. Jimmy Hart and the Nasty Boys. Jimmy Hart's like, I got my lawyer on the phone. Nasty Boys, you know how they do. They're just going nuts, going crazy. Then Mountie gets his picture taken. Legion of Doom interview where they talk about how they're going to handle the natural disasters. Then we go to the Mountie fingerprint. A lot of stuff going on with the Mountie during this part of the show, because he's going to jail. And then we have the Triangle of Terror interview. Sergeant Slaughter Colonel Mustafa, who's the Iron Sheik, and General Adnan. And then we have a Sid interview with Mean Gene, and it shows Sid talking to the Triangle Terror earlier in the day, and they want to know, what's up with that. And Sid's pretty much like, I handle my business. You never see me say anything yes to them, and blah, blah, blah. He's a special guest referee in the main event. Then we have the tag team title match. We have the champions, the Nasty Boys, versus the Legion of Doom, Hawk and Animal. This is a no disqualification match for the tag belts. This is just a slugfest. Good match. I enjoy watching it. I've been watching it since I was a kid. I gave it 3.5 stars. Thought it was excellent. An excellent match. We all know the Legion of Doom go over and win the tag belts. It was the first time the Legion of Doom ever held the WWF tag belts, and it was cool to see them get it from the Nasty Boys. We don't get tag teams like that anymore, but back then it really meant something. Then we go Mountie. We got more Mountie footage from downtown New York jail. Mountie gets his cell, and there's all kinds of weirdos in there sitting by him. Pretty funny stuff. Then we go to a very, very underrated match. I think this match, very underrated on the night. It never gets talked about when I hear reviews of this 91 SummerSlam. But we have IRS, Erwin R. Shyster, Bray Wyatt's dad, for you younger fans, versus Greg the Hammer Valentine. This match was very good. Very technical. A lot of psychology in it. A lot of just athleticism, man. Just a really good match. IRS would pick the win. He hadn't been in the WWF very long after that, and this is when Hammer was a face. I always liked Greg Valentine as a heel. And I gave this match 3.5 stars. I thought it was very excellent. Very excellent. Then we go to backstage. We got Mean Gene. And he's interviewing Hogan and Warrior. Really, don't know what kind of drugs they were both on during this time, but they were on something. They were very intense. They were very tan. I believe they may have just got off the beach before they did this promo. Really don't know what they're talking about. Don't really matter. Then we go to the main event. First off, we have Sid as a special guest referee. This is also the match where the Ultimate Warrior held up Vince McMahon for money. That's what a lot of people remember this pay-per-view as, but overall this pay-per-view is awesome. And then we have our main event. We have the Triangle of Terror, Sergeant Slaughter, Colonel Mustafa, and General Adnan versus Hulk Hogan and the Ultimate Warrior. And this was a very good match. I gave it 4 stars. And it never gets talked about other than the where Warrior holds up Vince. But if you go back and watch it, it's very good. I gave it 4 stars. The match 4 stars. Hogan and Warrior, of course, they go over on this match, and if I'm not mistaken, I believe this is the end of Slaughter's heel run. I could be wrong, but I believe this is the beginning of the end. This was just a great SummerSlam 1991. Overall, on the 10 scale rating, I give it 10 stars out of 10 stars. Just thought it was excellent. I can sit down and watch this event over and over and over and never get bored with it. Just a great time in wrestling. And this has been your review for SummerSlam 91. Next week we're doing 2 of them. We're doing 92 and 93. But yeah, that's it. 1991 SummerSlam review. Like I always say, get your money and pay your bills. Peace.